Yeah, I crossed streams and parallel dimensions. I swam through a river of bad vibes. I'm just to save your ass, and I'm a reason that you're alive. So don't send me down a crazy river. Every time a spectral vapor apparition or gimmick guy come knocking at your door.
Welcome to Deconstructing Bill Murray. I am Frank, and with me, as always, Ray McGuff.
Hello.
We've entered. Were we in 1984? I don't remember the last.
No,
Let's see.
we were outside of 84.
Okay, so we're 84 with the Ghostbusters, directed by Ivan Reitman, who previously we've done Meatballs and Stripes. He does Ghostbusters 2, of course, and tons of other stuff. The one I saw in there didn't he do Schlock? Did he do Schlock?
Boy.
Is that Ivan Reitman?
I believe it is Ivan Reitman. Yeah.
He does another movie that's called Cannibal Girls or something like that, and it's got Eugene Levy in it, and it says that it's the only movie that it rings a bell before something graphic happens, so you can look away, which is a weird device, but I thought that was
Man, I hope I didn't say that wrong because John Paul will kill me. You told me who directed it like 100 times, and I
think it was Ivan Reitman. I can bring it up though. Let me see.
Right.
Just so that he doesn't.
Yeah, and I think at one time it was just called The Banana Monster too.
Yeah, something like that. I still have to watch that at some point.
It is terrible. You'll love it.
Let me see here. No, John Landis. Fuck, John Paul.
Landis.
Ooh,
Yeah.
John Paul.
Sorry, John Paul. He's
Well, I
gonna
thought
be like,
John
what the fuck? I told you.
See, I got confused because I think John Landis did something kind of like with the title similar to Cannibal Girls, didn't he? What was it?
See you next Tuesday or something like that, right? Well, I'm just saying, like he put that. Because I remember John Paul saying something like that about he puts that in like all of his films, John Landis. So I don't know. It's the running theme kind of thing.
Wait a minute here. Okay, John Landis.
Yeah,
maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong or something. I don't know, dude. All these movies we watch for the podcasts and shit, all the information gets mixed up in my head.
Yeah.
But anyways, Ivan Reitman, written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. The cast is great. Even down to some of the smaller character actors. Of course, you have Bill Murray as Peter Venkman, Dan Aykroyd as Dr. Raymond Stantz, Sigourney Weaver as Dana Barrett, Harold Ramis as Dr. Egon Spangler, Rick Moranis as is it Lewis?
Lewis Tully.
Lewis Tully, Annie Potts as Janine Melnitz, and Ernie Hudson as Winston Zeddemore. But there's two other actors that I want to highlight a little bit. Alice Drummond, the librarian. Do you remember her from anything else?
Wasn't she in the Batteries Not Included?
Oh, maybe. I'm not sure. The two that I had for her was she's Ray Finkel's mom and Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Okay.
Remember, she has the cookies that are shaped like footballs and stuff. And
Right.
she's also in that Tu Wong Fu movie.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that? She's really funny in that. I think she's the only part I really liked about that movie. But she's also in Funny Farm, evidently, but I don't remember.
Yeah, she's like one of the kooky townsfolk in Funny Farm. I remember him. Yeah.
The other character actor I want to highlight is William Atherton. He plays Walter Peck. You might do you remember him from anything?
Oh yeah, dude. He's been in a shit ton of stuff. He was in Die Hard as the smarmy journalist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he always showed up in 80s movies. I don't have a list in front of me, but yeah.
Yeah, he the one I was like, what have I seen him in? It's Biodome. He is the guy that goes crazy and like eats that bird or whatever.
Yeah, I'm God.
He evidently did such a good job, though, that people in real life would like try to fight him at bars. I cannot imagine what that person must be. Like, you fucking with the Ghostbusters, buddy? What the hell? Let's take it outside. You don't fuck with Venkman.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't even picture that. But
I think I just got into an argument with that same guy on Mark Harp's
oh really?
post earlier.
Oh, if it's
Shout out to my buddy Mark.
if it's a Kent night, you never know what's going to fly out of their mouth. You also have appearances by Larry King, Reginald Vell Johnson, Casey Kasem's voice. His wife was in this. Evidently, I didn't.
I love that part with Casey Kasem because he's like,
yeah.
The Ghostbusters kicked it in and saved the day and then danced the night away with several lovely ladies.
Yeah. Man, I used to listen to that show he had on the radio, like back when that's all I had in my room was like a radio and, you know, a couple cassettes. But you also have Ivan Reitman doing the voices of Zool and Slimer. So that was a fun little trivia thing that I found out. Once again, we have a role here that would have been filled by Eddie Murphy. Everybody wanted to put Eddie Murphy in every fucking thing, but he declined to play Winston. There's so many crazy like casting things that might have happened that fell through or went sideways. It was originally intended for Eddie Murphy, but when he declined it, they had to rewrite the fucking script, so that's why Winston doesn't come in until like halfway through the movie.
And why would Eddie Murphy turn this down? It's like perfect for him.
I don't know.
It's just a bunch of one-liners of him doing crazy shit. You know?
Yeah, but you know, Michael Keaton turned down both the roles of Venkman and Egon. That would have been weird, I think. Maybe he could have did Venkman. But Peter Venkman was originally written for John Belushi, but he died when Aykroyd was writing it. So that sucks. But Chevy Chase also turned down being Venkman because he thought the original script was darker, and he didn't like where they were going with it. Steve Guttenberg turned down Peter Venkman to be to be in Police Academy. Tom Hanks and Robin Williams were considered for the role of Venkman as well. John Candy turned down the role of Louis Tully because his ideas for the character were rejected. Evidently, he wanted him to have a German accent and own Schnauzer dogs. But they were like, there's already evil dogs in the movie, so that's a little bit too much, you know. Jay Leno read for Louis Tully. That would have sucked. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Don't like him. Christopher Walken, John Lithgow, Christopher Lloyd, and Jeff Goldblum were all considered for Egon.
Could you imagine Jeff Goldblum?
That would have been perfect, I think. Yeah. According to Ernie Hudson, an earlier version of the script had Winston like with a larger role and a backstory where he was an Air Force demolitions expert. This is why he took the part. He thought he took it for half his salary. He's like, that sounds like a great role. The night the shooting began, he was given a new script with the new reduced role. The studio wanted Eddie Murphy, so like when they found out they didn't get him, they wanted the role scaled back because it was expanded for him.
We're a bunch of scumbags. I really hate studios, man.
And if Ernie Hudson hadn't taken the role, Reginald Vell Johnson was gonna be Winston. Of course, he's Carl from Family Matters, if anybody doesn't know.
Right.
That would have been hilarious, I think. But
that might have almost been more funny, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Evidently, Sandra Bernhardt was originally offered the role of Janine, which I think would have worked. But I think Annie Potts does a great job. Julie Roberts auditioned for the role of Dana Barrett, which I guess could have worked. I don't know. That's not really anything. There's nothing really happening there much, I don't think. I don't know. Sigourney Weaver's great in Alien, and she's great in a lot of things, but I don't know how great she is in this. She doesn't really do anything great, you know.
She's just adequate, and she has a couple of really funny interactions with Bill Murray where she seems genuinely uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, because he's borderline he does some weird shit,
Yeah.
especially when she's like possessed and like I don't know, gives her a little kiss or something. But they're not to that point, like he shouldn't have did that. This movie was released on the same day as Gremlins.
Oh wow.
Could you imagine making that decision at the old box office?
No, I was pretty young during this. I didn't see this until later. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if me right now, that's a tough
Mhm.
decision right now.
Mhm.
Like, let alone being a kid,
Yeah, they're playing Gremlins at the drive-in tonight, and Beetlejuice.
Oh
Yeah,
man, that would be awesome. That's a good double feature.
yeah, I believe Fish was going out to see that tonight. Could you imagine how taxing filming the opening sequence must have been? They were physically pushing these card catalogs from behind, like to push the drawers out,
Uh-huh.
and blowing air through copper tubing to get the cards to fly out. But that Alice Drummond, she had to be nervous as fuck to like mess that up. I can't even imagine, because they have to
Yeah.
pick all those cards back up and reset everything, and it's on film. Um,
Yeah, I bet they
fucking
had a couple of takes.
oh yeah. Um, I I love that most of the dialogue and almost all of Bill Murray's lines were improvised. They had a script, but they just kind of changed it constantly. It was just these are all comedy writing people, and Bill Murray's improv. They're all improv, background kind of.
Right.
But Sigourney Weaver wanted to flex her comedy muscles in this movie, according to IMDb. She suggested that she dressed up like the dog monster at one point, and they told her that was, dumb, of course, because can you imagine that?
No.
um, I assume that there have been like a lot of Dan Aykroyd's friends that have had similar conversations with him that as Bill Murray does when they're going into the library. You're like, Dan, I think you've really taken this whole crystal skull thing a little too far. The aliens thing is, I mean, you're really getting into it. Like,
Yeah, I
I,
believe that was a real
I think
conversation.
that's where he pulled that from, was reality.
Yeah.
But I don't. I'll be honest. I'll let you comment on this first. What do you think about the Ghostbusters theme?
The song is iconic. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I would never say that it's not fun to listen to when somebody plays it, especially in a group of people.
Right.
But as a song, I've never thought it was good. You
Yeah. It's.
know?
I don't enjoy it. It's so dorky. I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever liked it really, but it was like that's the Ghostbusters song. So, you know,
It
whatever.
makes you laugh, right? Whenever
Yeah.
somebody, like at a big Halloween party one year, somebody hit play on it and everybody starts dancing and singing
Yeah.
along. It's kind of goofy but fun
It's
stuff, but
like,
it's
but
not
it's
good.
like got the same level. It'd be if you played that at a party. I always feel if it's played at any party, Halloween party, whatever, that it feels like someone just turned on the fucking DuckTales theme song because it's got that same kind of vibe to it. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, it's silly as heck.
But the rest of the score in this movie is pretty fantastic. That it's all Elmer Bernstein, who of course did the Stripes theme.
Right. Can I say something? I always have, even since I was a kid when I first seen it, when Pecker turns the thing off and it shoots the stuff up
Yeah,
and all the ghosts are going out and it's got that weird theme and it's like,
yeah,
please,
yeah.
please.
That
That's
I
really
actually have
amazing.
notes on that. That's a song called "Magic" by Mick Smiley. It that segment in the movie is my favorite piece of the whole thing because it's almost like a little mini music video. It's a candy bag montage that's just like got all these ghost things happening, and the song is perfect, and it's so you realize how artfully placed and selected that music is when you listen to the whole song, because that part where it comes in isn't until like the very end of the song. The whole first half of it sounds completely different. It's a good song.
I'll have
I
to check that
suggest
out.
people look it up. But yeah, let me get back to where that was. I was going to mention that so far
Oh,
down the line,
sorry about that. But we were talking about
but
the score,
yeah,
and I'm like, every time I watch this movie, and I just finished it, I
hmm
love that part because it's so fucking weird. The music is
yeah,
perfect for it. So
yeah, it's great. But yeah, check this whole song out because you'll be like, when is the part coming? Because
yeah,
it just straight up sounds like an '80s like pop, synth pop kind of hit. But it gets to that part and it gets like kind of creepy, and it makes sense why they picked it. The reaction Dan Aykroyd has to this fireman pole, I think that's the same level of excitement he had when he found the location, according to what I read. I love how he's like, "Hey, does this pole still work?"
Yeah.
It's a fucking pole, Dan. It's gravity's still happening. If
I love he's like, when can we move in? I'm gonna go get my stuff.
yeah,
Like, whoa.
with all the stuff that happens in this movie, Rick Moranis kind of steals the show for me. I love every scene he's in. I wish he had way more screen time. He should have been like an official Ghostbusters in part 2. He should have been a Ghostbuster in part 2, like from Jump Street. He should have had a proton pack and everything, I think. But whatever. I'd really like to know what they should have added, like the process of what he has to go through when he locks himself out of his apartment, because he does it constantly. That's like a running joke. And I want to know what he has to do whenever he does it.
I imagine he's got a key like at somebody else's apartment.
Oh, probably.
Like he goes down and knocks on old widow master's door, and she goes,
I did it again.
Locked yourself out again, did you?
Yeah, I did it again. Yeah. I want more info on what the world that's inside of Dana's fridge. Like, you don't get shit from it. That's one thing about the animated series. They kind of expanded on weird shit like that, like Egon and Janine's relationship. And then I remember one episode where they were inside the containment unit, and it was like a whole world inside there. And stuff.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah. It's amazing to me that I've seen this thing like at least, I don't know, a dozen times. I mean, throughout my life. Yeah. And I still find stuff that I never noticed. Like the whole conversation about Ray putting his family home on the line to acquire the fire station. Yeah. Like maybe that's just a thing you notice when you're an adult and you're like, well, that's adult shit there.
Yeah, right. That's some hardcore shit. Can I ask you a question? Because I thought of just watching it just now as the conversation unfolded. I was like, is that the same home that's going to be in the new one that's coming out, the Afterlife?
Oh, I don't know.
Because they did make enough money with between 1 and 2 to where he could have saved it, right? Right. So I was like, oh, is that his family home? Is that a neat little tidbit that they've taken from the original?
Oh, that'd be a nice little touch.
Yeah,
we'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see when the theaters open back up in 2021.
Yeah. Did you ever notice the part where Ray gets a blowjob from a ghost?
Yes.
Never.
When I was a kid, I didn't even pay attention. I had no idea what was going on. But when I was about 13, I watched both of these back to back. And I remember thinking, when I was 13, I wonder what a blowjob from a ghost is like. Is it like the best blowjob? Like, I hadn't had one at that point yet to have a reference.
It's got to look weird,
Right?
Probably. Especially at the end.
It's just pushing the go away.
Get out of here. Quit haunting me.
Make me a sandwich.
There's not a lot of wasted time in this movie, which I appreciate. Things move at a pretty good clip, and there's not a lot of filler content. The one part that I remember fucking with me when I was a kid is the part where Dana's sitting in that chair and the arms come out of it and grab her and the chair turns and then it's dragged right towards that demon dog, which those things look great.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're standing still, they look great. When they're animated, there's some problematic situations.
I feel like they skipped a couple of slow motion movements.
Yeah.
When the animation, they're just like, there you go.
Hop, hop, hop. Well, it looks terrible when it jumps through that table of snacks at the party.
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh.
But as it's sitting there, it looks amazing.
Oh, yeah. When it's not moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's when it's like puppet, when it's like a puppet kind of thing, not stop motion. I remember there have been so many people that make fun of Ernie Hudson's lack of lines in this, but the joke was always he only talks about Twinkies. Like he's got like just that's all he talks. He's got lots of lines. He has a whole discussion about religion with Dan Aykroyd, which is a great scene.
And he's pivotal in the scene with the mayor.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I really believe, even though he says something silly, that the mayor, it gets his attention. I've
Mhm.
seen shit that'll turn you white hanging
Yeah.
out with these guys,
And then
So,
he in the jail scene, he sort of throws all the guys under the bus, and so he's like, I'm about to get my own lawyer on this.
yeah.
Um, yeah. The thing at the end when I don't understand is why didn't J. Edgar Hoover show up? Because Bill Murray, before Ray thinks about the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, Venkman goes on a whole don't think about anything. If you even think about J. Edgar Hoover, he'll show up or whatever. Shouldn't he have just shown up at that point? Because
With that logic,
yeah,
yes. I don't know what the magic properties were. Maybe you had to be a true mindless idiot,
yeah. But the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, great design. The facial expressions, the whole thing. I
Yeah.
love it.
Nobody steps on a church in my town.
But another thing about this that I never really noticed is that, like, at the end, the Ghostbusters should have all died, every single one of them, because they were on the top of this building, and it blows up like the top 10 floors of this skyscraper. It looks like. I mean, it's a massive explosion, and somehow they're just totally fine. I guess the marshmallow.
I was going to say, I think the combination of the large amount of marshmallow wrapping around them and the structural integrity of the building, because it was built as a obelisk.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Movie magic, Frank. Movie magic.
It was just something I noticed because the whole fucking thing pops. But I mean, this is a 10 out of 10 movie. I think it's fun even after 20 or so viewings,
Yeah. It's such a perfect Bill Murray. This for me, like all the stuff we've done up to this, is Bill Murray trying to find his footing. This is when Bill Murray becomes the Bill Murray we all know, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like,
he really.
From here on out, this is classic Bill Murray, right?
Yeah, after this is kind of all around this, this level. Let me see what we're gonna do next. Do you have any additional things to talk about?
I wanted to briefly, as far as casting goes, I didn't have any of the alternate cast, but I absolutely love Rick Moranis. I don't know if you saw that commercial that he did recently with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds got him to come back. He hadn't acted in like 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds got him to come and do this commercial, and it made me miss him even more. I hope he gets back into doing some stuff. He's such a funny guy. But in this, he owns every scene. That party scene is one of my favorite things in the whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
He answers the door. He's dancing with the hot girl, and he runs over and answers the door. He's like, "This is Ted and Diane, and Ted's in marketing, and he's got a portfolio." It's like, I was laughing so hard I missed parts of it again.
God.
I've seen it.
He is so great. The last thing I saw that he had done, he stopped working for a long time because his wife died.
Yeah.
And he had to take on, just being a single father and taking care of his kids. And now they're all grown up and stuff. So he had put out a music album several years ago, and he was out promoting it on podcasts and stuff. So I didn't really enjoy that. I was like, just come back, man. Just do something, just mix it up. Get involved.
That's what's so great about the Ryan Reynolds commercial. I'm sure they would let us play it because it's a commercial, but it's only like 2 minutes. But it's got a perfect clip because Ryan Reynolds introduces him for this phone that he's talking. And he goes, "Oh, what do you want me to say about the phone?" And he's like, "Nothing, man. I'm just a big fan. I wanted to meet you." He's like, "So you paid me to come here and do nothing?" Yeah. And then Rick Moranis is like, "Cool." And he kind of walks backwards back out.
Yeah. Let me pull it up here.
Yeah. It's really funny. But I love Rick Moranis, so I was going to go on a little rant about him. So after this, I'll talk about a couple other things too.
Yeah, here we go. We'll bring it up.
It's hard to believe that Mint Mobile has gone so long without an unlimited plan. So to introduce it, we brought in an actor we've all gone too long without. Rick Moranis.
So what do you want me to do? You want me to say something about Mint?
No, that would have been smart. But no, it's $30. It's unlimited. It'll do just fine.
Sounds good. I really got to get a phone. So why am I here?
I'm just a huge fan.
Oh, stop it. Come on,
No,
stop it.
seriously. Massive.
That's it?
That's it.
See ya.
Bye, Rick Moranis.
I love that. Bye, Rick Moranis.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
funny.
mean, it's clever. It's introducing him to a new generation. I really hope he comes back and does some more stuff. But as far as like the other cast, I mean, obviously, we're talking about this because it's a Bill Murray vehicle, but I don't think this works without Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis as his buffers. If it was Bill Murray and two other people, I just don't think it would work out as well. They seem to even him out in his little rants.
Yeah, especially since like Harold Ramis doesn't ever smile or break or anything like that. He made like a choice to do that. So Bill Murray's clowning around and he's like the literal straight man for everything he's doing.
So I love that. And then I've always been a Sigourney Weaver fan ever since I first saw Alien. I know people lately have talked shit about her in the movie circles about how she keeps doing the same kind of stuff and she's lost. I think she's still great. The last thing I think I saw her in was, I could be wrong, but Paul, the movie Paul, and she was still really funny and good. But she's good for this part, and it's iconic. I'll always remember her as Dana. So.
Yeah. What else she's really good in is The Ice Storm. You remember that movie
with John Cusack?
I don't know if
Billy
he was
Bob
in
Thornton?
that or not. Hang on a second. I'll pull it up.
Oh.
I know it had Kevin Kline. Maybe yeah, she was in it. She was having an affair with him.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I could be wrong about who's in it, but I remember.
Yeah,
Kevin Kline, I think you're right, is in it. But I think John Cusack's in it as well. Or Bob.
let's see. Kevin Kline, Joan Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Tobey Maguire. I don't even know how to say Henry Gazerni. I don't know. Christina Ricci, Elijah Wood.
I have seen this. This is different than what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
But it is good. She's really good in it.
yeah, it's a good movie. All right, well,
But yeah, so and then special effects still hold up after all these years. Like we said, there's a few problems with the stop motion stuff, but proton packs still packs a wallop and looks cool. And
yeah.
I love this movie. It's one of my all-time favorite things too. So 10 out of 10, perfect.
Well, we've got the next thing that that Bill Murray did is a lost movie, I guess. It's called Nothing Lasts Forever, and it sounds crazy as hell to me, but it's impossible to find. Evidently, it was with Zach Galligan from Gremlins.
Really?
Yeah, and it's an artist fails a test and is required to direct traffic in New York City's Holland Tunnel. He winds up falling in love with a beautiful woman after he takes a trip to the moon on a lunar cruiser. But
That sounds amazing.
It got I don't know. It got shelved by MGM, and just never got released. So,
Well, I might have to dig around and see if I can find that gem somewhere.
but the next thing after that is a movie called The Razor's Edge, which I believe is the movie that he got made. He negotiated it. He had one of the movies we've already talked about. He negotiated this movie getting made, but I don't know if it's available to watch anywhere. The Razor's Edge.
So I don't believe I've heard of this one.
He had everything and wanted nothing. He learned that he had nothing and wanted everything. Oh, there's a trailer. Let me see if I can. Oop. Oh, the suspense.
Wah, 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 wah.
It's gonna be. If it's hard to find, we might have to skip past it.
Yeah, because I have some limited resources, but I have ways of finding things. But
He has his means.
Columbia
I know.
Pictures presents Bill Murray in a role unlike anything he's ever done before, The Razor's Edge, based on the classic novel by Somerset Maugham. It is a story of romance, deception, betrayal, sacrifice, and discovery. A thin line separates love from hate.
You give me so much, Larry.
It's very easy to love someone like you.
Success.
Oh my God.
From failure. Life from death.
When Piedmont died, I found out there's another debt to pay for the privilege of being alive.
A line as difficult to walk as a razor's edge. Bill Murray in the story of one man's search for himself. The Razor's Edge.
Frank, there's no way we're going to find that to watch. It's not streaming anywhere, I guarantee.
Well, let me
I've never
see.
even heard of that ever.
Neither have I.
It must be one of those ones where he was so bad they're like, no.
Let me see here.
I mean, it seems like that's his first attempt at being serious, which he ends up doing very well later on.
It's available on Pluto for free.
Shut the front door.
Yeah.
Is it going to be on there for a while? Like, I don't have to watch it tonight, do I?
I don't know. Do they tell you how long it's going to be on there?
Sometimes if you click on it, it'll say gone in 7 days or something like that.
Let me see here. Good old Pluto.
I'm just shocked. I'm like, there's no way they're going to have this movie anywhere.
It doesn't say anything about it being gone anytime soon or anything.
Cool.
So that'll be it. The Razor's Edge. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I don't know.
I've never seen it. Yeah, I think this is going to be exciting. It's like an undiscovered Bill Murray movie.
Maybe it's a real gem. Here's what we'll do. I'll go to the user reviews. It's got a 6.6 on IMDb.
That's not terrible.
We'll do a 10 out of 10, and then we'll do a 1 or whatever, a low score. This one says, one of my all-time faves. I was prepared to hate this movie when I first rented it. It was a curiosity pick. I liked the title. I didn't have anything else in mind, and my thought was, of course, Bill Murray. It turned out to be one of my all-time favorite movies in the character transformation genre. It's a compelling story of choices in life and how those choices affect or disaffect perceptions of that life. Murray is perfection in this role because we've seen him change from something we recognize to something quite different. It is palpable and comprehensible transformation. The movie draws us in. It allows us to change with him. The rest of the characters are well cast and provide a definitive counterpoint to the protagonist. The bon vivant aristocratic Uncle Elliot, who simply lives his life appreciatively, and unthinking and manipulative Isabel, concerned only with her own comforts and social standing, the uncertain Sophie that allows her uncertainty to trap and destroy her, the practical yet contemplative Raz, who challenges Daryl's notion of things. Finally, I was impressed with the faithfulness to the book. It's difficult for a movie to be that and still be a watchable movie. Okay.
All right. That person really liked it. So that's
fun. Let's see what we got here in the 1 stars. One of the worst I've ever seen. I saw this movie when it came out, and 26 years have not dulled the memory of how terrible it is. How bad? Well, Razor's Edge is like Bill Murray's lounge singer trying to do a serious grand opera and occasionally reverting to his lounge persona. What makes this movie particularly awful is its grand pretensions. Murray, at least at that point in his career didn't have the acting chops for serious drama and was allowed to get away with just about anything. It's the ultimate vanity project. Awful, awful, awful. It was nice to see Brian Doyle Murray, Bill Murray's brother, in a small role since they used to work together on the National Lampoon Radio Hour. All right.
So that's kind of was my thought. Was it looked pretentious, like a vanity project would,
Yeah.
and he had not yet developed the acting chops to pull it off. But it had a lot of good backup characters there, character actors in it. So I was like, oh, well, we'll see. We'll give it a shot,
Yeah.
man. I'm excited now.
Evidently, it's a remake of a 1946 movie. So there was a lot of people saying it didn't compare to the original. I want to see what movie it was he did that. I remember reading it somewhere that he took some role, and part of his contract was that.
That he could do a movie.
Yeah, that he could get this movie made. He made it was Ghostbusters. He made a deal with Columbia Pictures that he would appear in Ghostbusters only if they financed this movie. Originally, no studio was interested in making the film until Dan Aykroyd suggested the deal to Murray. On the final day of shooting, Murray flew to New York City to start filming Ghostbusters.
Wow.
So he shot this first. Wow.
That's crazy, man. That's a lot of clout for somebody that had only had a couple of minor hits at that point to pull.
And I wonder why he wanted to get it made so bad. Yeah.
I mean, I'm like that. Like, I'll read a book and go, man, I'd like to make that into a movie. And if I had any sort of power, I would, whether or not I'd be good in it or not,
Right.
if I'm going to cast myself, right, I would just, no, I'm going to be amazing as this character. This is written for me. But I don't know, man. A lot of actors have at least one of those,
Right.
where they're like, this is totally going to make my career, and it does not. So.
It's so weird that he made a deal on Ghostbusters when he was friends with all those dudes, like he, I don't know, like that's weird. That's weird to me. You'd think it would be like a collaboration. Yeah, he's getting paid, but he wouldn't make some weird deal to get a personal project made. I don't know.
It's like when we did our couple of things together. I did it because it was fun to hang out with you guys and do the shit,
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine going, no, Frank, I'm not going to do that unless you produce a rap music video for me later.
That's exactly what it would be.
Okay.
But anyways, we'll see what that's about. The Razor's Edge next time on Deconstructing Bill Murray. Do you have anything else to say, Ray?
No, just keep watching Schlockfest. This last one's really good. Thank you for including that opening that I was doing. I knew I was being recorded, and I did that little thing. I thought it would be really funny if you took that and did something with it. So it's a funny episode.
Yeah, you seemed legitimately angry that you had to watch the movie.
I hated every minute of it, dude. And I was working at the same time.
Yeah,
I was literally answering phone calls while I was fucking watching that terrible movie.
Yeah. I like it. It's one of the few musical things that I like. And I hate the songs, though. I don't think there's any of them that I like. And one of them is like a earworm or whatever they say whenever it gets stuck in your head.
Yeah.
And it's that Mary Lane. And I'm like, fucking get out of my head. Get out of my head. But
I saw a stage production of it with Palmer a long time ago here in Columbus.
Yeah.
Came into town and we went and saw it, and I loved it. I just, this version of it was like nails on a chalkboard to me. It was just everything about it I hated.
Yeah.
I don't like that Kristen Bell in roles like this. I think she's a terrible, I don't know, actress when it comes to like.
I don't know how much I like her anyways. The Good Place is such a good show that I think that I don't know. She's not the reason I like it.
Ted Danson's awesome.
Yeah, there's so many other reasons that I like that show. That role. Yeah, and the what's the Jason character?
Yeah.
But her role could have been anybody really. I don't know. She's something else.
But yeah, so watch Schlockfest. We're gonna film in October. I'm flipping the script on John Paul. I'm making him watch something that I've picked.
which should be, and I'm on your page, it is going to be very hard for you to find a schlocky movie that he doesn't like,
Right.
without torturing yourself.
I think I found one, and I will torture myself to do it, just because I know he'll hate it even more than I do.
Because I was thinking about it, I'm like, no, you should be able. I was thinking you should be able to pick one of those like really art house, nice, high quality film that has like a lot of acting in it that's dry or something that he does not like.
Like The Remains of the Day.
Yeah.
With fucking Anthony Hopkins. It's
Something
like
that.
2 hours of a butler being pissed off about being a butler.
Right. Or The Irishman. I'm sure he wouldn't like that. And that's like 3 hours long or something.
I think he watched that in like 3 sittings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like
I would have to, too.
I don't think he liked it at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got one in mind, and I will tell you when it gets closer if I decide to go with it, that has the actress in it that I mentioned, and it is known to be a schlocky. It wasn't intended to be, but it is known to be schlocky, and I don't particularly like it, but I would sit through it to torture him because I know he would hate it.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, check all that out, and we'll see you next time with The Razor's Edge.